All right, one last video here on Liberty or Death. It was mostly about just the coin games in general. But I wanted to touch on kind of some differences too with Liberty or Death from coin games. I'm not the coin expert, as I've said. I've only ever played Andean Abyss, and so that's kind of my experience. But I mean, the games are I know they're similar in this turn sequence of your eligibilities of your factions, and choosing, whether to play events, having the event cards, the current one and the future one up, and looking at the faction eligibilities, and taking your actions based on what you see as the best way to go about doing the most you can for yourself and limiting the other players. Although sometimes you don't mind if the other player, if it's a faction that may have something in common with you, for them to get more actions as well. And that's, that's the coin construct is this. And I talked a little bit about, how it's kind of a little strange that you kind of see into the future and know what's going to happen in terms of not only the event, but who can activate. However, if you can get, by that and rationalize that in whatever way, or just say, it's a game mechanic and, hey, no big deal. Then I think, these are, the coin games is how I'd phrase them, is they're Euro games for war gamers, for a war gamer's sensibility. That is, they don't rely on much luck. It's almost pure strategy. In choosing your actions and what you're going to do. So it has a very Euro game vibe, but unlike most Euro games where you're, trading in the Mediterranean or you're farming or something, the coin games have a very strong connection to a conflict. Whether that's, the struggle in Colombia or the American insurrection, or, Mark Herman did one on Vietnam. So they have the stronger, historical connection. And that's, I think, what makes them appealing to war gamers. And for a war gamer, they may want to play a game with less luck than your typical war game with lots of dice rolling and combat tables and, card draws and things. They can provide a lot of luck elements. These are more strategic in how you're playing them. So I think they're very appealing, to war gamers. And that's, why it's a very popular series. I understand why. And while they're not my favorite games, the coin games, the two I've played, maybe if I play a different one, I might enjoy it. I do appreciate why people enjoy them so much, and why they're so popular. And I enjoy to explain. It's not like I hate playing them. I enjoy playing the coin games. They're just not necessarily my favorites. But just real brief, I'll do some differences here on Liberty or Death than, at least Andean Abyss, and I think most of the other coin games. And it does a few things differently. One, it has dice, and it has a battle procedure, which is different. And that's a nice feature. It gives Liberty or Death a little bit more of, a war game feeling, which I think is appropriate considering, it was more battle heavy between the sides than say something like the Andean Abyss, or I think a Distant Plain, or things where there were more conventional forces versus conventional forces. I don't know if Herman's Fire in the Lake has a battle procedure. Maybe somebody can throw that in. Maybe this isn't unique to Liberty or Death, but anyway, it's quite nice. It also has leaders, which I don't believe the other games have. And it has these winter quarter cards, and it has these brilliant strokes cards, which are really interesting. And I think a nice game feature, which kind of breaks up what can be kind of a monotonous sequence, of going through, this kind of, eligible, ineligible, eligible, ineligible. And what you can do here is, if your faction's eligible, you can plop one down here, say as the British, cancel this event, an event the Patriots we're going to go first in, and you want to do this in conjunction with looking at the next card, because the next card, hey, the British go first. So we could just cancel this event. We'll take some actions on here. At the end, everybody will be eligible, and then, hey, guess what? British going to go again first, and the Patriots are last, so French are last, so they're not going to get activated at all. So these provide for some nice ways to kind of swing the game around and keep it from just being a back and forth affair. So very nice, feature of the game. The winter quarters, I think, are unique as well to it. They have an event that happens. Generally, these events are catch-up events. So, if one side's struggling a little bit, this will provide a little bit of a catch-up mechanic. And again, when I say catch-up mechanic, I can go action selection, I can go area control, kind of worker placement. These are all Eurogame elements. And that's why I kind of feel that the coin games are really kind of in that category of a Euro game. And I don't say that in as a pejorative or as a negative sense, because again, I like some Euro games as well. And these coin games, they provide that Euro sensibility with a stronger tie to the subject matter than does kind of your typical Euro game. So anyway, that's it for coin for me for a while. I don't think I'll hit Liberty or Death for a while. I'll get on the table again at some point. Again, I want to play the 3-player game of it and see if I get some more enjoyment out of it, or more value, feel better about it as a simulation. Not sure what I'm going to do next. I'll maybe throw a few ideas up on the game box, see if anybody's, if there's anything anybody particular wants to see me do. And that's it for now. Thanks.